And the riches are really in the common businesses. There's a proven business model.
Hello, everyone. Today we are here with Colin Rutherford. He is a Dartmouth College alum and an entrepreneur. His company is called Green Box Storage, and they are about to surpass $1.7 million revenue since inception. So, Colin, can you tell us a little bit more about Green Box Storage?
I started Green Box Storage when I was a junior at Dartmouth College. And right from my dorm room, I started the business. So basically, I saw that there was a need for a better summer storage solution for college students. And I actually remembered back to my freshman year, I had a college roommate named Thomas. He drove 45 minutes to the nearest storage facility to store his items over the summer. And I knew there had to be a better way. So I whipped up a website, started doing some email marketing to students on campus, and started bringing in orders.
Awesome. So, your whole journey began back in college.
Yeah, right from my junior year was really the big time that I got started.
That's awesome. So, I know in the world, there are a lot of people out there who might want to work for themselves or own their own business, but they can't think of a groundbreaking idea. So, what advice can you give for people looking for the next big idea?
Yeah, things that everyone always is looking for the next big idea, something that they can turn into a huge billion-dollar company. But in my opinion, the riches are really in the common businesses, like the sweaty, the service businesses, like a home cleaning or a summer storage business, or just something that's already there. There's a proven business model. Don't go and try to start something that no one knows what it is. It's a lot more difficult to do that. Start a business that there is competition because you know there is a demand for that service already.
Definitely. That's good advice. So, after you finally have an idea or a problem that you want to solve, how do you measure demand? So, how will you know if people want to buy your product or service?
There are a few different tactics that I like to use to measure demand, but one thing that I would okay, so one way to measure demand is to use the Google Trends method. So not a lot of people know about Google Trends, but basically type in Google Trends on Google and you can search any keyword and it'll show you a trend over time of how often that keyword was searched on Google. So if there's a lot of demand and it like for right now there's a lot of people searching for that keyword, there might be a lot of demand for a service that you are planning to offer. Another Another way to measure demand is to use the landing page method. So basically what you do is you whip up a landing page, which is a website basically, and you have a form at the bottom of the website that people who are interested in using your service or buying your product, they can enter their name and email. And once you actually launch, they'll be on your list and you can email them. So this way you can kind of quantify how many people are interested in buying your service when you launch. It's important to do that before you launch, of course.
That's really interesting. I have actually never heard of Google Trends, so that's some really good advice. I like that.
Thank you.
So, for people just starting out, I think one of the biggest burdens we're all going to face is the financial aspect. So, what do you have to factor into your startup costs?
Yeah, there's a big difference in my experience from starting a service-based business versus a product-based business. So, Greenbox Storage, my company, is a service business. So we didn't have to spend a lot of money developing a prototype for our product or anything really. My startup costs were $1,600, and now we're going to surpass 1.7 million in revenue this year. So it took barely any money for me to get started, and you can do so yourself if you start a service-based business. I don't have a ton of experience with product businesses, but you may need 5, 10, $15,000 to develop a prototype and everything that goes along with that.
It's good to know. I think for a lot of people out there, like I said, usually the financial portion is the biggest burden on people. So it's good to know that you can start off small and really build into something great. So what about competition? does competition play a big part in determining if you should go ahead with your startup idea?
Yeah, I do so a little bit of research into competition, but not a ton. I'm not typically going to get scared if there is competition in the space. It's actually more promising, in my opinion. If there's competition in the space, that means that what they're doing is working and people want what they're offering. So I'd look at competition, just do basic Google searches. Say you're doing a driveway power washing business, say power washing in your town, and see what the demand is, or see how many competitors' websites pop up, and kind of look at demand or look at competition that way.
Gotcha. So you actually view competition in a more positive light than most people probably would, because yeah, you're right. If you know you're doing the right thing if someone is already doing it, right?
Yeah, product market fit. I'd like to bring that up. Product market fit is one of the first important steps for creating a business, really. If there's a product, and if you can find market fit for that product, you're off to the races. There's a metaphor I like to use. If you have product market fit, your business will be like pushing a rock down the mountain. It'll go pretty fast. But if you are trying to constantly force a service that people don't want, it's going to be like you're pushing that rock up a mountain. It's going to be way more difficult.
I like that. That's a really good analogy. So the name Green Box Storage, it seems pretty unique. So how did you come up with the name?
Yeah, in my opinion, company names are important, but they're not the most important thing in the world. So Greenbox Storage was pretty simple how I came up with it. I went to Dartmouth, which the mascot is Big Green, and we stored boxes. So I came up with the company name Green Box Storage. So that was it. Pretty simple.
I love that because again, I think a lot of people can get hung up on the little details, and I think keeping it simple is probably the best way for most people to go. Would you agree?
Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to get too complicated. It's also important to look for domain availability, because I had to use greenboxstorage.org because .com was taken. So that's an important step when you're figuring out your company name. Make sure to check if social media handles and website URLs are available with that name.
That's awesome. That's a really good point. Any other advice on how to name your business?
Yeah, just make it simple. I wouldn't make it super long, super hard to spell, super complicated, because that's like when someone hears your business and they go to search it, if it's easily misspelled, you're losing potential customers. So make it easy to spell, easy to understand.
Perfect. I like that advice. So, with Greenbox Storage, how did your logo come to be?
So I'm not exactly a graphic designer. So what I did is I hired someone from Fiverr. It's a website with a bunch of freelancers basically to make my logo. I think it cost me like $12 to hire someone to make my Green Box Storage logo. So it was a pretty simple process. I wasn't super picky about it, but it's been the same for the last 5 years, and I like it.
Awesome. Any tips that you would have on, recommendations to give these freelancers that are looking to create your logo?
Yeah, I would say read the reviews of the freelancers to pick the right freelancer. And I would just say explain to them exactly what you're looking for, because more guidance is probably you need to give someone guidance if they're going to design something for you. So don't just say, "Hey, go do this." Maybe provide some examples of what other logos you like are. They can use those for inspiration.
Perfect. Awesome. So, yeah, I think, you've given us some really good advice. And I think the overall theme here is to really keep it simple. And you can start off small and grow into something beyond your even expectations. So, that's great business advice. And I had fun talking to you. And we'll talk next time.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Colin.
looking forward to doing this again. Thanks for watching. If you found value in this video, click subscribe below for more business content just like this.